I don't care. I want what God had for me, and I need to get this breakthrough. I'm tired of being stuck. I'm tired of saying praise the Lord, and I'm struggling. You get tired of this foolishness. That stuff will wear you out. One day you live in it, you trying to act safe around everybody else, and then in private you the devil. You get tired of that. That start wearing on you be like, man, who am I? The devil loved them, that type of, and you get to the place where you say it's all or nothing. Everybody say all or nothing. You get to that point, but that's when you're ready for your breakthrough. We welcome each and every one of you here to Fuel Station Church. We thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to connect with us. I'm in a room with some amazing, awesome Jesus disciples, and we are here in the city of Buffalo, New York. If you have not had a chance to like and subscribe, we do ask you to do so at this time. We've been in a powerful series entitled Breakthrough. We are in the Breakthrough series, and I believe if you have not got a chance to listen to episode 1, 2, or 3, we encourage you to go back and listen to that, all right? Okay, guys, so today we're going to go into episode 4. My word of encouragement to each of you guys, again, if you have not listened to the other ones, please go back and review those. Today, I'm going to take you to Joshua chapter 6. We're going to talk a little bit about breakthrough again. I believe you guys remember the definition I gave you of breakthrough some weeks ago in episode 1. I gave you my personal definition of it because there's many people's views of what a breakthrough is, but a breakthrough is any barrier that finally opens up for you to receive deliverance. Any barrier that is blocking your life to receive full deliverance. Okay, so there's something you're trying to get to a place of deliverance, but there's something blocking. Okay, so you need what we call a breakthrough so you can get past it. We were talking about the children of Israel, how they left Egypt and their barrier, and they needed a breakthrough because they had a barrier called the Red Sea. And that Red Sea opened up for them to pass through to get to where God had them. And that is happening to all of us right now. So you are here. God wants you here, but there's something here. We need to get past that. And most people want God to just go like this. Move. And you're going to notice anytime there's a breakthrough, it's going to involve God to do something and it's going to involve you to do something. So y'all remember with Moses, if he did not lift up his rod, that sea didn't open. God opened the sea, but he had to lift the rod. So he had to be crazy enough to believe God with this thing. And God was crazy enough to open it. So in this story, same thing. There's going to be another barrier, but there's going to have to be some faith on the people's part in order to receive what God has for them. So in this episode, we're going to talk about Joshua and the walls of Jericho. Who in here are familiar with that story? All right, so let me explain to you a little bit. Let me just give you a little history of this because I really want to break this down for you. I don't want to rush this because, again, I know this is what God needs us to have in this moment. God's people were promised the promised land. They leave Egypt and he's bringing them to a land that's flowing with milk and honey. They get the first breakthrough, which is coming out of Egypt. And we talked about that in episode 1, 2, and 3. Then they pass through. Episode 3, we kind of start talking a little bit about the man at the pool. Y'all remember that? The man at the pool who was sitting at the pool, he needed some help. And we covered that in episode 3. Today, we're going to talk about how when the children of Israel left Egypt, they passed through the Red Sea. They get to what they call the wilderness. The wilderness was really an 11-day journey from where they were to get to where God wanted them to be. 11 days, Charlotte. 11 days. Keita, that's it. So it was supposed to be just a trip. Them jokers stayed there for 40 years, Juliana. How in the world 11 days moved to 40 years, Dora? Something happened. Remember I was telling y'all they had a physical barrier, which was the Red Sea, but then they had a mental barrier, which was their mindset. And that's why they stayed in the wilderness for 40 years, because they could not get a breakthrough up here. So when God was trying to bless them, I don't like your blessing. I don't like this manna. I don't like this man you sent me. Uh-oh. Oh, he got quiet. He don't got the umph. Oh, that's Egypt talking. So you need a breakthrough in your mindset about men. Oh, look at she too nice. She just too pure and spiritual. I need somebody a little feisty. Okay. You need a breakthrough in your mind because she gonna break you through if you marry that feisty one. You see what's happening? It's like, so we have mental barriers that's keeping us from seeing what God has for us. So we need what we call a breakthrough. We got to get this old Egypt mindset out. So these people were in the wilderness because they did not like the provision that God was giving to them. And so in the wilderness, they start complaining just like we do. I don't like this way. I don't like the way God has blessed me. I don't like this worship and praise and stuff. I just want to do what I want to do. And then God bless me whenever I feel like it. I don't like this fact that we got to get up and pray every day. God, I'm tired. I like the rest, Lord. And God is like, oh, I'm just trying to get you ready for your promised land. I brought you here so you can worship me, so you can serve me. And now you're in this place called the wilderness for 11 days and you start complaining and all that Egypt mindset need to be broke through. They could not get their breakthrough. That's why they lasted for 40 years. So what happened was God said, okay, these people don't want their breakthrough, Cherie. So guess what God said? God said, kill them all. You know this loving God that we preach about, Juliet? He said, kill them all. Just kill them because they too stuck. They don't want the breakthrough. So kill them. But keep their kids. Let the kids stay. But kill the people who don't want the breakthrough. And them jokers died 40 years. Just walk. Imagine us walking around this building for 40 years. At some point, y'all will be like, I'm tired of this. I want to see something different. But just walking, same finances, same attitude, same bitterness, same anger, nothing changing. Been saved 40 years, still mad at the same stuff. God's like, okay, I don't know. This one don't want the breakthrough. They don't want it. So give me their kids. Give me the ones who ain't messed up yet. And I'm going to put my covenant in them. So what he did was he let the old stuck slaves die in the wilderness. They never saw the promised land. And then he let their children go ahead and possess the promised land. And now Joshua becomes the new leader for these children. Joshua was one of the ones that was with the older ones, but Joshua wasn't crazy. Joshua said, I want my breakthrough. So when he saw the promised land, he was like, I don't care. There's giants there. We can take it. I ain't staying stuck, broke, busted, disgusted. I want what God has for me. Who in here want that? Now your friends may be like, but look at the giants. Look at the government. There's so much rates. Screw that. I serve the king. Y'all can keep talking about this foolishness, but I want what God has for me. And that's what Joshua and Caleb did. And he said, okay, only these two is going to go. So Joshua now is about to take these new, young, fresh kids into the promised land. And Moses died. Joshua goes in and God says, all right, Joshua, it's time. Take the people to their inheritance. And guess what happened, y'all? They start going. And then what people don't realize is as they're going, Joshua was scared because Joshua was like, I saw what you did with the other folk back there, God. I don't know if I can handle this. And God said, trust me, I'm going to be with you. Just like I was with Moses, I'm going to be with you. So Joshua's like, okay, good. The people are following, they're moving. And then God said, okay, God, all right. Okay, sanctify yourselves, get ready because we're about to start possessing some land. And just so you guys know, let me give you a little sidebar. You're going to know that you are in your promised land. Let me explain something to you. And this was something that changed my life years ago. When you are in the wilderness, I really want y'all to hear what I'm about to say because this is a game changer. When you are in the wilderness, God has to do everything for you. When you are in the promised land, you going to have to fight for your blessing. I hope y'all heard that. Because, we think the opposite. Why is this so difficult? It's because you are possessing what is yours. And the devil is in there occupying it until you get there. That's why you feel the fight. You taking over a territory that was yours, but somebody was using it until you got there. So these folks actually start going to the land that was promised to them, but there was only one problem. There's people living in there. Yeah. So it's like, like the Lyman's got this beautiful house. If somebody was living in that house, they had to evict them first before they can move in. That's called, they got to do paper, whatever they got to do. The old people who used to live here, there is a new owner coming up in here. So the old gotta go, the new come in. That may not always be a peaceful thing, because now the new homeowners coming there, they can't occupy that place while the old people are still there. They got to have to kick them out. And this is what was happening. So they come into the promised land, but there's a problem. There's a city that God tells them to go and get. And we're about to read this story, because now you are about to see what a breakthrough is going to look like, and how breakthrough is going to require a lot of faith. But if you want what God has for you, you're going to have to trust God. Everybody say, I'm going to trust God. So if you can't expect a breakthrough sitting down eating bonbons and Doritos, you're going to have to get on your knees and say, God, what you saying? It don't make sense, but what you saying. So let's go to Joshua chapter 6. I just want to give you the history of where we at now. Now they're about to possess the land. And let me tell you a little bit about Jericho before we read verse 1. Jericho is the gateway into their promised land. So it's one of the most important areas that is occupied by the enemy. And the reason why Joshua had to go in there and possess it, and they had to go in there and kill everything in it, is because God did not want his people to be influenced by them. Does everybody understand that? Because these Jerichoites, they know how to party. They know how to, Keita, the Jericho, the people in Jericho, they was the type that when they party and they had weed and alcohol, they would share it. You don't have to pay. Did anybody ever do the puff give? I'm just kidding. That's the Jericho. Y'all just passing joints around. Okay, no, you don't even have to pay. You don't even know the people. Everybody just passing. He said, I don't want my people to be influenced by this. So when you go and possess this, kill them. Take them all out, because this is your land. Don't leave any residue of these folks in here. So when you go into this new land I'm giving you, kill them all. So when you get into that place, when you get in that relationship, kill all them old exes. I love the quietness. I love when I could just see. Now you in this new relationship, go on that phone and go delete. Kill them. Don't even give that person an opportunity to even be texting you in this season. Well, we're still delete. Eventually, yeah, take them. Yeah, because they represent the old owner. You got to depossess, meaning everything in there. So when he brings you into your land, you got to completely get rid of the influence there. All right, so now let's read verse 1. I just want to give you the history of that, how important Jericho was. So verse 1 says, now Jericho was straitly shut up because all the children of Israel, none went out and none came in. So y'all see that place was rocked. They had a fortified city. Their walls were so thick. Yeah. Do y'all know how thick? I had the privilege of being there. These walls was as thick. They were so thick that you could ride a chariot on the walls. I don't want you to think walls like this, not this. Think walls that you can drive a car on. That's how wide these walls were. So this is not a simple little drywall like we see in our house. So when you hear walls, I want you to see the thickness of the wall, that the people, when they were watching the walls, they can put chariots on top of it and drive around the whole top of the wall. So that means the thickness of the wall was big enough to put your car on. So this is not a small wall. Okay, let's read. Verse 2, and the Lord said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thine hands Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. Verse 3, and ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. So they're going to go around the city one time for 6 days, okay? All right, in verse 4, and 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram horns, and the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 days. So on the 7th day, they go circle it 7 times. 6 days, they go do it 1 time. The 7th day, they're going to do it 7 times. Everybody's following that. All right, so let's go to verse 5. And it shall come to pass that when they make a loud, long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him. Now, we'll stop there, because I wanted you to see that God gives him the commandment of what to do. Now, this is where it's going to mess you up when it comes to breakthrough. God understands, if you read verse 1, it says, none went out and none came in, because this was a thick wall. This city was walled up. Nobody could really get into this place. But in order for them to get what God had for them, they got to get this place removed. In your life right now, God wants you somewhere. And the devil's job is to set up Jerichos all through your life. And I promise you this, that to get to what God had for you, he's going to give you a strategy for every Jericho. Every Jericho is not the same strategy. For the Red Sea, he had to lift up the rod. For this one, they go have to shout. That's our problem, because most of us will go to Jericho lifting up a rod. It worked for me last time. And you sitting up there looking at that thick wall going like this. Nothing moving. And see, this don't work. You know why it don't work? Because you didn't pray to hear what God is telling you about now. That's why you got to pray every day. Because there's something, if something ain't working in your life right now, go back to prayer. Because maybe you trying to do an old method for a new wall. Maybe you up here trying to, and now I ain't gonna lie, I just knowing y'all, and for y'all watching the camera, I think that we got probably one of the realest people. These are the most amazing, wait till y'all meet them. They're the most amazing disciples. But just knowing each of y'all and knowing y'all personality, y'all would do exactly what I do. Y'all want to know what we would all do if this was us? We would go climb that wall. That's why y'all smile. We climbing. I ain't about to march around no, Jeremy, I ain't marching. I'm gonna look crazy walking, ain't saying nothing for 6 days. People be like, who's this? Imagine. I want y'all to imagine this. Man, go home tonight and just imagine somebody just walking around your property. They ain't ringing your doorbell. They ain't dropping off no Amazon packages. They just walking past your house every day. How would y'all feel, honestly? Y'all call it a popo, right? Y'all gonna be like, you taking them out. Now, so you could already tell something don't look right about this strategy. But look at what happened. This is how I'm talking about this with breakthrough, is because they need to get this wall down and they don't have the human power to do it. But their God gave them a strategy, Juliana, but the strategy he gave them don't make sense. Yeah. Have God ever told y'all anything that don't make sense before? Oh, Lord. He will say to do stuff. You asking God for this, and then God say, okay, go do this. And the thing he's telling you don't look like it. You pray for this. It's like, why you asking me to do this? I'm asking you for, go on a 3-day fast. God, I don't need a 3-day fast. I need some money. Well, just go on a 3-day fast. He don't say nothing to you about money. He just say, go on a 3-day fast. And because we're in the culture now that just want to do how we feel, we miss the greatest blessings. So the secret to these breakthroughs is obedience. It ain't your intellect, because your intellect will make you climb this thing. Remember I told you about the intellect of the children of Israel leaving Egypt? When they saw the Red Sea, it's like, okay, who's going swimming first? Because that's the only way we're going to get across. I'm jumping in first. I would have been like Moses. I see y'all on the other side, because if the enemy come in and I see water, my logic says swim. I don't know if I'm going to die, but at least I ain't staying here looking at y'all on the sand. But I would have went logically, and guess what? I would have missed clear directions. God was going to give me a breakthrough, but I did it in my flesh. Here, he's trying to give him a breakthrough, and the temptation and breakthrough is trying to do it in your flesh. So you need a financial breakthrough. You need a spiritual breakthrough. There's some strongholds in your life. There's something that you be trying to get rid of these thoughts or whatever. There's something going on. You got addictions, habits, and God is trying to give you a breakthrough. And he tells you something like this. And I remember there was a time back in the day when I was going through so much struggles with addictions with things. And I remember when I first gave my life to God, I was like, man, I don't know how to break this. And do you know what he told me to do? He told me to go on a 3-day fast with no food. I said, the devil is a liar. I need something to eat. I ain't that strong in the Lord. That was my first time that I went on a 3-day fast with no food and nothing. That was the hardest. Now it's a little easier, but that was the hardest 3 days of my life. But you want to know what? When I got done with that, I had so much power that when those temptations and urges came back, it was like, because I found power through God, through fasting. So the strategy of overcoming, getting rid of that breakthrough came through abstaining from food and seeking his face. It didn't come from me sitting there reading books. It came from obedience of what he told me. Does everybody understand that? So here he tells them, y'all about to get y'all breakthrough, but the way you go get through it is y'all going to march around the city and say nothing. Now you want to see why a lot of believers are bound, because nobody would have did that. But I want my promised land. March. I don't want to march, but I want my promised land. March. That's the instructions. God, I want the most amazing mate. Bless me with the most amazing relationship. And God say, okay, for then I want you to delete every social media account. I don't want you to have any relationships with anybody of the opposite sex. I just want you to give your complete self to me, pure. Don't sleep around. Don't do nothing. Just completely give your body to me. Well, Lord, I want the best, but I don't know about all this sacrificing my flesh stuff. You see what we did? We are asking God for his promised land, but we're not willing to be obedient. It don't work that way. So when you get desperate enough and you get tired of this Egyptian blessings, you're going to be like, listen, what do I got to do? I got to hold my stick. I don't care. I want what God had for me. And I need to get this breakthrough. I'm tired of being stuck. I'm tired of saying, praise the Lord. And I'm struggling. You get tired of this foolishness. That stuff will wear you out. One day you live in it, you trying to act saved around everybody else, and then in private you the devil. You get tired of that. That start wearing on you be like, man, who am I? The devil loved them, that type and you get to the place where you say it's all or nothing. Everybody say all or nothing. You get to that point, but that's when you're ready for your breakthrough. And most people ain't that serious. And if people can see, when I was at those funerals last week, if people can just see how that person who was laid in the casket was not thinking that was their expiration date. That person wasn't thinking about the people in there crying. People was in a place crying. The church was packed out. People were crying, boo-hooing, and the person in the casket didn't even have they didn't care. They was like, I'm done. I ain't thinking about no bills. I ain't thinking about national fuel. Help us, Lord. I ain't thinking about food budgets. They are done. They're not even thinking about education. They're not thinking about college degrees. They're not thinking about student loans. They're not thinking about car notes. They were just laying in the casket like this. It is finished. Where they are now, that's between them and God. But in this life, they're done. And all God is saying is, listen, just listen to my instructions. I'll help you get your breakthrough because you don't got that much time here to enjoy. I tell people all the time, you got to live every day with the mindset that today could be it. It's not to scare you. It's a reality. Even the funeral home directors will tell you. And I love it. One of them said that last week. He was like, listen, everybody here, you just make up in your own mind and accept the fact you checking out soon. And everybody in the church, it was funny. Everybody there, it kind of woke them up like, yeah, it's true. Because we keep forgetting. We keep thinking, I'm just going to be living forever. And we're trying to live here with all these Jerichos. And God is like, I died on the cross to set you free. And you want to live in the kingdom with Jerichos? And I've given you the land. All you got to do is listen to me and I'll give you your breakthrough. These jokers walked around the wall like they were obedient. They walked around the wall. And it's funny because if they would have walked around the wall and was talking to each other, they still wouldn't have got the blessing. Somebody tell me why. Because the instructions was they ain't supposed to say nothing. So Jerome, if they would have even did 80% of what God said, it still wouldn't have brought the walls down. So when it comes to obedience, 80% ain't enough. That was for free. Yeah. So it looks something like this. It looks something like this. I'm bringing it to relationship because I think everybody can connect to it. Because I just remember when I was single, how people used to tell me stuff, and I'm like, is that how you trying to do it? People used to say things like, well, we're gonna live together. We're gonna fondle each other all night. Give each other hickeys all night. But we ain't sleeping together. You see what I'm saying? It's like they come to church with hickeys. For those of you who don't know what a hickey is, that passion mark. That mark that came from a passion. and they come to church and say, whoa, thank God I didn't sin. So you see what I'm saying? Now, it's, yes, they did not maybe had intercourse, but why? But they are tempting. They're being influenced to almost stir up passions in the other person. And you see what I'm saying? And then we say, thank you, Lord. No, if we as people, we supposed to be looking out for each other. So if 80% ain't gonna give you the breakthrough. Raise your hand if you think 90% go do it. Y'all know that good old time song, 99 and a half ain't gonna do. So I know, Lord, I'm running, trying to make 100. Cause I know that little half ain't gonna get me in like I thought. So if I'm gonna do it, if he tell me to walk around this wall and be quiet, then I gotta listen to my Lord, even though it don't make sense. I don't know why he telling me to wait. I don't know why he ain't won't just give me what I prayed for. I don't know why he see my struggle and won't just fix it. And you talking to him and he quiet. He up there just, the reason why I had to give you the next step is because you didn't do the last step yet.